So once a month, I volunteer with Fresh Start, which is a local nonprofit in downtown Phoenix, and we are all about teaching women self-sustainability. And it's been getting me reflecting on just what it's been like navigating running a business as a small business owner. Like, yes, I'm a tattoo artist, but there's also a really large business side of it where you're wearing so many hats, and what it's like channeling creativity for this career while also navigating ADHD, which, by the way, I just got that diagnosis last year, and it's been very pivotal in my personal growth journey with just understanding how my brain works. So, this is what I came up with: being disciplined in my morning routines, which has taken years to dial in, and it's always a work in progress. However, repetition is key. Truly, the way I start my mornings sets the tone for the rest of my day. I've noticed that when I have a strong connection to my yoga practice and making sure that I'm dedicating a little bit of my morning every single day on my yoga mat, even if it's only 10 minutes of just some yin postures, more static stretching. It's just the repetition of hitting my mat every morning has been super helpful in creating that one pointed focus for the rest of my day. My next point: to strategically use my meds on days when I really need to lock in, especially on completing the more mundane tasks. So, this can be admin work, scheduling content, editing content. It can be website maintenance, the emails back and forth. Which then leads me to my next point is I try to give myself little lists of tasks that need to be completed and having some sort of reward at the end of the completion. So with ADHD, I've learned that my brain, it thrives off the little dopamine hits. So if I can create a list of tasks that need to be completed and then I allow myself some sort of reward at the end, which for me personally, that's like some time in the gym or some extra body movement, some time to just dance and free flow, or it could be some time to just draw and free flow whatever comes to my mind to just draw with no real intention, just see where the pencil takes me. It makes the overall experience better because I know that future me will thank present me for getting those tasks done. Another creative outlet for me recently has just been dabbling in the world of mixing music, and it's been so much fun. A learning curve nonetheless. Which then leads me to my next point of allowing myself freedom and flexibility with my schedule, allowing myself to slow down, and using mindfulness tools to ask my intuition what it is that I'm truly wanting. Especially when I have moments or mornings when I wake up and I can just kind of already feel like I'm a bit scatterbrained because perhaps there are several things on my to-dos that I already know I need to get after that day. I have learned when I feel some of that erratic racing thoughts, it's usually an invitation for me to just pause for a moment and ask my higher self, my intuition, what do I need right now? And to just create an order of operations list of, okay, let's take care of the physical self, whether it's body movement, nourishing. Okay, let's take care of my mental self. Maybe that's journaling, pulling some tarot or oracle cards. And then let's take care of career self. What do my clients need? What do I need to check in with social media? And just, it becomes easier to just break it down step by step. This also leads me to just the overall need of creating an order of operations. And this is going to look different for everyone. And I always explain this to the ladies as well. What that really looks like is just taking an honest assessment and evaluation of what I need in the immediate future rather than allowing myself to become so overwhelmed with all the looming to-dos to the point of procrastinating and doing nothing. Next point. I allow myself to have days where I lead with just pure joy. I think it's super important that, especially when you are creating a career as someone with ADHD, and especially if it's a creative career, I have learned that yes, my career is being a tattoo artist. However, if I do nothing outside of tattooing, drawing for clients, and that's it, I'm going to lead myself to a miserable point of burnout. My brain thrives off of taking breaks, and it's okay to give myself those breaks. In fact, it's healthier for me to do that so that I can actually show up better and be more creative as a tattoo artist. This is allowing myself to have time to just play. Next point. If I recognize that it's something I feel resistant to, it's likely something I need to practice more. So, for example, if there is a new subject that I want to draw, but I'm feeling resistant to actually put in the time to draw, it's because I recognize it's simply the learning curve. It's that challenge of just getting over that initial hump to then allow myself to practice with a new medium or to study a new subject. Once I can just make the choice to have the willpower to just start, it becomes a lot less painful. And it's always so much less painful than what I ever think it is. So I view working with ADHD as a skill that simply requires repetition, just like getting your reps in at the gym. I cannot expect instant success overnight. I cannot expect myself to learn how to draw a new subject in just one go. It's a mental muscle that I have to continue tending to daily. And that's key, is tending to those things daily. Last but not least, there is a specific feeling within me, and the best way I can describe it is like feeling like a bottle that is building under a lot of pressure that perhaps is going to just like and when I start to feel this feeling, and I usually feel it after I have been spending hours working on like a new integration into my website or building a new page on my website or a new service menu or whatever it may be. It's usually during the more mundane admin tasks, especially if I have taken my meds that day where I've been just like sitting for hours locking in on something. When I start to feel that, it's typically an invitation that it's time for a break, whether it's go moving the body, go get a snack, whatever it may be. And just leading to the final point of how important it is with navigating ADHD to practice self-inquiry daily. And I think anyone, whether you're neurotypical or neurodivergent, anyone can benefit from simply asking themselves daily, what am I feeling right now? And where am I feeling this in the body? Because truly, our bodies are constantly communicating with us. We just have to simply pause and ask.